Hi everyone, today we are comparing mixed numbers and improper fractions using Equati0. And to do that, we are going to find a common denominator and we are going to use a number line. And to start off, we're going to do the area model and learn about converting between mixed numbers and improper fractions to help us out today. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is compare this mixed number, so it has a whole number and a proper fraction, with this improper fraction. We see the numerator is larger than the denominator. So right away we notice that the numerators are the same, and when we had simple fractions, we could just compare easily using that. But as soon as we add this 1 in front, we can no longer think of the numerators as just being the same and able to compare. So this becomes the more challenging way, where we need to either create an area model, use a common denominator, or a linear model. So it's time for you to open up your Equati0 toolbar. Let's get a math space started, and let's start by creating our area model. So to save time, I have my math space ready to go here for the area model. I've already created my area model for the mixed number 1 and 5/7 here. You can see that I've broken my fraction strips. Remember, to make a fraction strip, you can go down to the smart shapes. So I've broken my fraction strip into sevenths, like my denominator always tells me. I have created one whole fraction strip, which my number 1 in front here tells me, and I've created a shaded version of my fraction strip to model 5/7. So altogether, this is my 1 and 5/7. Now what we can see here is that we can very easily then convert my mixed number here to an improper fraction just by counting the number of sevenths there are altogether. So we know that this is 7/7, and if we keep counting, we know 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12/7. So let's click down here to our equation editor and just recognize 12/7, that 1 and 5/7. I'm just going to undo that. I got rid of my title there. 1 and 5/7 is the same as 12/7. Okay, and you can see next over here that I've also created my model for 5/3. Again, my fraction strip is split into thirds because the denominator tells me what my whole is split into. And then I've simply colored in 1, 2, 3/3. That is a whole. And I need 5/3 altogether, so I had to create another one and color in 2 more thirds, 4 and 5. Now this model also makes it very easy for me to see what mixed number this improper fraction would be. There's 1 whole colored in and 2 thirds colored in. So let's write that one out as well. 1 space 2/3 creates 1 and 2/3, and let's insert that onto here. Okay, now let's do what we came in here to do and compare these fractions. It's almost too close to compare to the eye lining it up this way. So we are going to line them up one on top of the other here. If we move the 2/3 down and compare that to the 5/7, we can see that 1 and 5/7 is going to be slightly larger than 1 and 2/3. Let's use that symbol, greater than. We'll insert that into our math space. I can enlarge it a little bit here for you to see better. Excellent. And let's insert that onto our slide. All right, our area model is complete there. Let's talk about common denominators next. So go in and open your new math space. Again, I already have mine started for us here. And you can see that I've written the 2 fractions down. Now, for common denominators, we need to start by either comparing improper to improper or mixed to mixed. So we've already talked about how to convert them both, and I'm just going to do it both ways for you now so you can see that. Let's start with the mixed numbers. So we'll keep this mixed number at 1 and 5/7, and let's convert this one down here into its mixed number. So we know that 3/3 is 1 whole, and there's 2 more thirds to make 5/3. So like we saw in our area model, the mixed number for 5/3 is 1 space slash 2, 2 slash 3, 1 and 2/3. So I'm going to make sure I'm not clicked on something, insert that into my space, and we can see that these are the two numbers that we are now going to compare. Now, in order to do actually, let's just make our mixed number as well down here. So let's turn this one into a mixed number. We know that 1 whole is 7/7, and we have 5 more sevenths as well. So 7/7 and 5 more sevenths, we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's going to be 12/7. And we can, oops, I replaced it again. Click off and insert the math. There we go. Okay. So let's do our common denominators now. So just like we did with simple fractions, we can do the same thing here. We can find a common denominator between 7 and 3 by using the multiples. Now, I can already tell you right away that I know this one. If I count up by 3s, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 21 is going to be my magic number here. So I'm going to get my pen out, and I am going to keep my 1 the same, but I'm going to change 2/3 to a fraction out of 21. So to do that, I know you do 3 times 7 is 21. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I'm going to do 2 times 7 is going to equal 14. All right, that took a little longer than it should. That's okay. For the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep the 1 out in front, and I'm just going to convert my fraction, my proper part of my fraction, to have a denominator of 21. So 7 times 3 is 21. And whatever I did to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 5 I'm going to multiply by 3 as well, and I'm going to get 15. And now we can compare those two fractions quite easily, seeing that they both have 1, but I'm going to have 15 21sts for this one and 14 21sts for this one, and 15 21sts is larger. So we can put in our symbol. Let's just make sure we're not clicked on something this time. Greater than into our number sentence here now. Okay, we can do the same thing down at the bottom. I'm not going to take you through all those steps, but again, you would make it a fraction with a common denominator of 21. So this side, you would multiply the bottom by 7 and the top by 7. And 7 times 5 is 35. So we would have the number 35 over 21, 35 21sts. And on this side, we would multiply the denominator by 3 to get 21. And we would also have to multiply the numerator times 3. 3 times 12 is 36. So again, looking at it that way, we're going to get that same greater than. 12/7 is greater than 5/3. Let's insert that back into our slide deck. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do our linear model. So we'll click here. And I've already got it started for you. Don't forget, you're just going to insert a new math space to do this on yours. So I have created for you a number line. So I went back into my Smart Shapes and I created a number line. And the number line that I've made here is going to represent 1 because we know both of these fractions are greater than 1. So I'm just going to write on there that this is my 0 and this is my 1. Or I could call it 3/3 because we're going to need that for our top fraction. So 3/3 is the same thing as 1. And I'm going to then click on my line and make a copy of this line that we're going to do the second part of our fraction with. So let's copy the line and paste it again and line it up for us to continue our number line here. So now this is a number line that we're going to play with. We already have the 1 part of our 1 and 5/7. So now we need to make the 5/7 on this part of the number line. So we're going to break our number line up into sevenths. And we are going to, undo that. I just did. There we go. Into sevenths, and then we're going to go ahead and count our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/7, and let's put our line on there to show where the 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5/7 is. I'm a little bit off there, so let's just drag it over. Undo. Let's just drag it over a little bit. Okay, so let's color that line so we can, again, make it easy to see. Red is just fine. And we'll label that with our pen 1 and 5/7. Okay, let's click back on that line now. I'm just going to put away the color. And now we have 3/3 here. We know we have to go 2 more thirds, 4/3 and 5/3. So we'll need to turn this line into thirds now. So thirds means I'm breaking it into 3 parts instead of 7. My line keeps disappearing here. There we go. And you can see 2 more thirds is going to bring us to this line right here. Oh, they are so close. So let's insert another line on here. I'm going to change the color of that line to make it different. Green is fantastic. And I'm just going to draw in that is where our 5/3 line is. Let's click off there and have a look over our work. Right, there we go. And we can see again that 5/3 is just slightly smaller than 1 and 5/7. So last thing we'll do is just grab out our pen. Let's see if it'll let me turn it black and draw in our greater than sign again. We'll insert that into our math space. That was quite a long one today, so hopefully you can break it up into small parts. Don't forget to do one at a time and hit pause on the video and then try it yourself. After that, I just have one question about pie eating contests for you, and you'll be done for the day. Have an awesome day. I know you can do it.